Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at Celsius token against Bitcoin, so looking at its Bitcoin valuation. And remember, if you do like the video, hit the like button down below, as well as consider subscribing. It's been quite a while since the last time we talked about Celsius token, and the last video, I think, or one of the last videos, was me selling a majority of my position. I still hold some Celsius token left now, but it doesn't encapsulate a large portion of my portfolio anymore. Uh, However, that doesn't stem the fact that Celsius, I think, is one of the better performing tokens that we've seen, in this year of 2020, with moves to the upside of 270%, 300%, from their local lows, and even as recent, you can take the lows of, say, October, mid-October, to where we were, a few weeks ago, and it was a 40% move up. But now, for the last few weeks, we're seeing something new with Celsius. Uh, like before, we saw, some form of downtrend, right? So whether it's subtle or more drastic, we saw these downtrending levels of Celsius, and then it coming back to this 20-week moving average, um, or you can make an S, like a curve up of exponential growth, and argue that every single time that Celsius came to that level, it pumped up. Now we're seeing it kind of stagnate, right? From the end of September, we saw it move sideways. We're currently at the levels that we were back in September, and because of that, not much has changed. What has changed is potentially, um, we're seeing that exponential growth of Celsius token kind of slow down a bit, and this would make sense. Nothing like this growth lasts forever. At some point, coins will have to retrace, or not even retrace, kind of slow down and reset. And moving sideways is one of those indicators. And we can see probably that momentum kind of waning when we see the MACD. The MACD is going to have a bearish cross. Does not mean that, oh wow, it just moved. Wonder what happened. Oh, it's up 6% now. That's what happens when you got a low liquidity coin, I guess. But I think that doesn't stem the fact that, with Celsius, we're going to see a cross, it looks like, to the downside. Now, that doesn't mean that Celsius is going to drop in price. I think that just it's the MACD is a momentum indicator, so it could just mean that we're slowly waning from this exponential growth that we see here, and go into a more logarithmic growth. So slower growth in relation to exponential growth. I mean, this could still move fairly quickly, but a lot slower than, like what we've seen in times past. Uh, I know with Celsius, there's a lot of people that are quite devoted to the project as a centralized finance uh, tool for people to use to grow their wealth in a form of interest, being given back to them. And like, other than the DNS issue from a few months ago, they haven't had any major setbacks, and I think that reflects in the price. The confidence is still up for the coin. Uh, People still use the project, probably more than ever. And right now, Celsius and centralized finance is taking DeFi's, uh, uh, giving DeFi a run for their money. Um, because of their recent performance. Now, that doesn't mean that decentralized finance is defunct. Far from it. I think it's just getting started, as with any other uh, uh, fine like new project in the space right now. I think there's a lot of hype for it. a lot of hype for finance, decentralized finance, those kind of buzzwords, that kind of new idea of saving money um, with cryptocurrency, I think is very, not novel, but is a novel idea within the space, right? We haven't seen many projects do it, and and now we're seeing them pop up. And you do have like your mainstays like crypto.com, Nexo. Nexo's been doing fantastic for the last few weeks, I think. Like when we look, yeah, look at that. That's a straight shot up. Something that I noticed the other day. And since we're talking about centralized finance, I thought I'd bring it up real quick. Uh, but It'll be interesting where we see with Celsius. Can it hold this level? Seems like it could. Question is, can it move up even further? Um, and with it moving sideways, it's consolidating at this Bitcoin level. With Bitcoin starting to move sideways, um, we'll see if Celsius will react like other altcoins when Bitcoin does move sideways for a couple of months. Can it benefit? And when we, for example, compare with Ethereum, we see that. Sorry, let me bring this to line candles. Okay. So this is the move that we're talking about from when Bitcoin started moving sideways. So it's from, I believe it was from May. Hold on one second. Bring up Bitstamp for a second. So is this sideways movement action that caused Ethereum to move up? And when you see when Bitcoin is moving sideways, like in May, we do see Celsius benefit from that. We saw this move right here, and when Bitcoin was moving sideways here, we saw a continuation of that move. So we do see that Celsius can benefit from a sideways moving Bitcoin. We'll see if that happens again. Uh, uh, I still expect good things to come out of the project, and I do expect a good return on my investment of Celsius token or what I have left. When you see it against its U.S. dollar valuation, I mean it's just straight up, and it almost looks ludicrous. Um, from the lows of 6 cents, okay, 6.5 cents, we have seen from the local top a 3,600% move to the upside. That is insane, at least in my view. And I think it's high time that Celsius does kind of cool down a bit, because I'd hate to see this thing crash down. And for all of those people who are considering buying Celsius token at this price level, okay, I'm not talking about if you bought it at like 2,800 sats or what have you. If you're thinking of buying it at 12,400 sats, um, it is a risky play. It is a risky play. Anything like Celsius is now like you consider a mid cap altcoin. It's like within the 30s of the top 100. It's still a risky coin, guys. It's a new project. We don't know where it's gonna go. We don't know how secure the programming is for this. Um, and because of that, it has high risk, with unknown return, because we've never been this high before with this coin. So sky's the limit, you can argue, but we'll see what happens. But buying Celsius here is a lot more risky than when you were buying it here, right? The risk gets higher and higher the higher and higher the price goes. And so, um, ask yourself, are you willing to let that investment go if it does crash down? Because it could possibly do it. Um, I'd recommend, if you don't have like a big enough, when you're looking at your portfolio, if you have coins already invested that are like 50 and below of the top 100, I would recommend maybe taking a second thought, taking a minute to think, is Celsius the right coin? Maybe you want to offset some of that risk of the other coins you bought with a more stable cryptocurrency. And I'm not talking about stable coins, but at least Bitcoin. It would be considered the most stable cryptocurrency in comparison to the altcoins, and excluding stable coins. Bitcoin's probably the safest bet. Maybe you want to offset some of that risk. How about Ethereum? You still get some of that risk with potential upside, but a lot less riskier than a smaller cap altcoin. Just my two thoughts. And it does not mean that I'm saying that Celsius is going to go down. I'm just saying that the risk of it going down is a lot higher than it was before, and people need to be aware of that. People need to be aware that this coin has gone up you know, over 3,000% since the lows of March of this year. Like, how many months is that? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. We're at 9 months, less than a year, um, and it shot up 3,600%. That is insane on any level, on any kind of asset you're looking at, especially even cryptocurrency, where we see these high valuations in a quick amount of time. This is equally insane, and buying it here at $2.22 or at 12,000 Sats is a lot less risky than buying at 2,600 Sats or at around 40 cents. Okay. Just my two thoughts. Thank you all for watching. Take care.